Hey everybody, welcome back to BK's Bullets. Today I thought we'd do a graphic novel haul video. Hey everybody, welcome back to BK's Bullets. My name is Brent, and today I thought we'd do a graphic novel haul video because I went on a trip for work and just driving, but oh boy did I pick up a lot of graphic novels. So I figured, hey, instead of do individual overviews of all these, let's highlight them here in one video. So let's do that. So I got these a couple of places. I was on travel for work. I drove my own car, so it was close enough that I could do that. And I was just kind of like, well, let me explore where, I'm in Tampa. Let me explore some comic book shops over here. So the first place I went to had basically the leftovers of Captain America by Ed Brubaker, that run. So I picked up all but one missing trade. So I got two Americas, I got No Escape, The Trial of Captain America, and Prisoner of War. So these are all, I guess, the original printings. They still have that white Marvel logo on the top. But what is nice is that their other, the spines and all that match up except for this white Marvel logo. Everything else has it's flip-flopped. It's red and white instead of white and red. But everything else looks the same, just like the complete collections and stuff. So I don't know if they're going to come out with that, but I'm such on a big Captain America Ed Brubaker kick right now that I wanted to pick these up so I could at least finish that run of the original series before he jumps off with Steve McNiven and it kind of goes off the rails. But this is the rest of the Bucky Cap run, and this would fit nicely into two other trade paperbacks if they wanted to do that. I don't know if they're going to do that now that Falcon the Winter Soldier is over and Bucky is not Cap, but instead we have Sam Wilson. So this is the reading order. Unfortunately, they don't have volume numbers on here. They just I just know what it is because I looked them up and figured it out. So after Captain America, you have The Man with Two Faces, then you have The Road to Reborn, Captain America Reborn, and then you go with this one. This one is called Two Americas, and it starts off with the Who Will Wield the Shield special, which I really think they should have put in the Captain America Reborn trade because it kind of explains what the hell is going on and kind of answers that question of who's going to keep Cap's shield. So you got wonderful art in here. I think this is Butch Guice. I could be wrong. Yeah, Luke Ross does all this. Inks by Butch Guice all over the place. Luke Ross, pretty good artist. Butch Guice on inks probably helps him match the styles a little bit with the rest of Brubaker's Cap run. But I read all these in single issues, but I don't remember exactly what happens in here at all. There's Falcon in here, so he starts teaming up with Bucky, I think, a little bit. That's cool. I don't know if it's a flashback, because that's the old Cap costume. It's not really Bucky Cap. But, Bucky Cap is in here, I promise. It's just, it kind of got a little weird, I feel like, in the last couple of trades, because, Bucky Cap got this new costume. He was wearing it. The Man with No Face, he kind of takes it off half the time. Then you have Road to Reborn and Captain America Reborn, and he's in that, and that's awesome. And then there's like a lot of flashbacks and stuff before this title. Eventually, when these trades are done, this title changes to I think it's Captain America and Bucky, and it's all flashback stories. I didn't read those because I wasn't really interested in that. So the next one after that is No Escape. And I do remember this because this is, I remember it a little bit, not a ton, but this is Baron Zemo coming to exact his vengeance on Captain America, who, I can't remember if he knows it's Bucky, but this is cool because I think he frames Captain America for something, and there's Steve Rogers as I don't know if he was like agent of S.H.I.E.L.D. or head of S.H.I.E.L.D. or something at the time, I can't quite remember, but he's alive, but he's not Captain America, he's letting Bucky do it, so... And he's just got this other kind of, super suit, which was, when the Winter Soldier movie came out and Cap was in this outfit, like that's where this comes from. I don't know if you can see it right there, but his Captain America Super Soldier outfit right here is basically the stealth suit in the Winter Soldier movie, which is cool. So it was like a nod to what was going on at the time. So you got Beetle in there, you got Natasha Romanoff, who in the Man with No Face trade, which I don't have here, I'm still searching for it. I don't know if I will ever find it, but Natasha and Bucky have this romantic relationship, but Bucky gets framed for something here, and it goes into the trial of Captain America. So I think this is where the rest of the world finds out that Bucky is Cap, and it all kind of goes to shit. You have Sin here, who's, I guess I don't know exactly when, but she like messes up her face here and becomes basically like the new Red Skull, because the Red Skull is dead. It's art by Daniel Cunha right there. Wonderful, wonderful artist. I've come to love his stuff more and more the more I see it and the older I get, and I appreciate how simple but dynamic and detailed it is. What he does with colors instead of lines is really something incredible. So really, really cool. And then this initial run, I think this is really like the end, the climax of it, so to speak, in terms of stories. But it does end in this one. It's called Prisoner of War. And there's some stuff in here that I remember reading it at the time, and I was like, where is this going? There's a storyline called Gulag. But there's like, if you look at the back here, it only collects 4 issues. But I think one of these was like a 65 anniversary special. Like, what's strange about Brubaker's run is he wrote Captain America for so long that they had like a 60th anniversary special, a 65th anniversary special, and I don't know if he was writing on the 70th or whatever, but he wrote it for so long. There was like 3 different anniversary specials for Captain America in this Cap run. So each time they have like a flashback, chances are it's an anniversary special or some wild and crazy stuff. They did revert back to the original numbering, I think with Cap 600, which I think happens in the Road to Reborn trade, which is really only like 2 issues. I think it's a special in Cap 600 and 601. So yeah, this is the one I keep looking for, the Man with No Face trade paperback. So if you've got this and you want to give it to me, let me know. I will pick it up. So that finishes up my Brubaker Cap run as far as I want to take it. I do have another Brubaker book later on in the stack, so we will look at that. This came in, and I'm definitely going to do a separate overview of this. This is Deceased Dead Planet. This is the sequel to Deceased. This is really, really cool. David Finch covers, Trevor Hairsine on art, doing all the interiors. Just like last time, Tom Taylor writing a wonderful, wonderful story. So this picks up with the son of Superman, Batman, and Wonder Girl taking the place of the Trinity because of what happened in the original Deceased. They're kind of out of the picture, and so you have the kids stepping up to take their place and try and fix the Earth with Cyborg, who thinks he knows a way how to do it and get rid of the anti-life equation and the zombies that took over the Earth in the first book. So looks just like the first book with this Earth 1 cover style with the banner in the image. And I really like, honestly, I like these hardcovers without the book, or the cover, flap cover, or whatever you want to call it, dust cover. There you go. Thank you, dust cover. I think they're really, really special, and it's probably a little bit cheaper, but I really like just the single, like, I mean, it sits on your bookshelf. Who really needs a dust cover? Like, my bookshelf is packed. I don't need a dust cover on half these things. So I really like the integrated cover that they do on these. So this I bought at full price. These Cap trades, I somehow figured shop I was doing said they were overstock from Diamond, and they gave me a sweet deal on them. I feel like I paid like $30 for all of them. It was really, really good. So then I found a Books A Million, and this Books A Million, I took the price tags off, but they had these trades for like $4.99. So this is Brother Lono. This is a follow-up to the 100 Bullets series by Brian Azzarello and original artist Eduardo Rizo. So if you don't know 100 Bullets, it's like a noir assassin tale from the Vertigo line, and this is also Vertigo. I think this was, I don't know if the glare will show up there. This was like one of the last Vertigo books published, maybe, before it got dissolved, but this has got all the issues of this miniseries. I think it was 8 issues 8 or 9, and it's basically catching up with Lono after what happened to him in 100 Bullets. Now, if you haven't read 100 Bullets, honestly, I read these in singles, or maybe it was on Comixology Unlimited I read this, but you can read this standalone if you want to get into it and see if you want to, if you like Eduardo Risso's art, or some nudity in there, or just see what this type of story is, because this story is it's very reminiscent of the 100 Bullets stuff, but it doesn't have anything to do with the plot. Like, all that was wrapped up in the 13th volume of 100 Bullets, or issue 100, all that stuff. So you don't have to read any of that. It's just, here's a guy, he did some bad things, he's in Mexico, he's trying to live his life, and he gets caught up in some new trouble. And that's basically what the storyline is. I really liked it. The writing and all that was amazing, just like always. With the character, I kind of sort of remembered, so I'm interested to go back and read it, and reread 100 Bullets, and then read this finale. Or not finale. It's more of a coda, basically, to the 100 Bullets series. This Brother Lono trade. But I do remember reading it on Comixology Unlimited. I really liked it, so I was excited to get it for $5 because I can add it to my my bookshelf next to the 100 Bullets. All the trades that I have for that. And then that same Books A Million, I found this. This is Fables, Werewolves of the Heartland. And I went, I don't have that. I have all the Fables trades. I've only read half of them. I have 1001 Nights of Snowfall. What is this? Turns out this is an original graphic novel that came out sometime in the Fables run that I had never heard of. And it doesn't really tell you where to read it. This was published in 2012. So I don't really know where you read it. It does not have, it's written by Bill Willingham. It does not have Mark Buckingham art. It has art by Craig Hamilton and Jim Fern. So it kind of looks like, more nudity. It's a Vertigo book after all. Some different styles in here based on maybe the time periods. Keep slipping. Yeah, these Vertigo books are dangerous. But I think it takes place in somewhere in the Fables series, but I'm not quite sure when. So I am going to do some more research before I read this. I'll probably read it in the midst of my Fables read through. Like, I'm going to reread all the ones I had bought, and then I finished the run, so I haven't read the entire series of Fables yet. So I'm probably going to read this then and go from there. So I'm excited to read this. If you know when to read this, between what volumes of Fables, please let me know, because I will stick it right there in the bookshelf and I will not forget. I also got this. I've never read this before. This is The Final Night. This is the event in the 90s from DC Comics that took Parallax Hal Jordan off the board from being a bad guy. Written by Carl Kessel, who I think was writing Superman books at the time. I can't see it because of the glare. Art by Stuart Immonen, Jose Marzan Jr. It's got an issue of Green Lantern in here, as well as a special with art by Mike McKone in here, which, if you remember Mike McKone from the Teen Titans days, this is the same Mike McKone. He is phenomenal and fantastic. I don't really know. This Green Lantern issue, what issue is it? 81. So this is like early 90s. If Green Lantern 50 is when Kyle got the ring. So this is a couple years after that, so maybe 97. But this is the new, I think it's the new printing of the trade paperback. It's got the new DC logo on it. It's fairly new. I picked this up at Read More Comics over there in Brandon, Florida. Fantastic, fantastic shop if you have not seen it. So this has Green Lantern 81, JLA in Crisis, Secret Files #1, Parallax Emerald Knight, and The Final Night 1 through 4. So pretty much has the entire story that you need. And this is classic DCU. I think the sun was being threatened by a sun eater, and I think Parallax saves the day, I think is what happened. And I know it took him off the board because everybody said Hal Jordan bit the bullet in Final Night. So excited to read this and finally figure out what happened to Hal in that. So basically you could read this, skip the Spectre stuff, and then go pick up Green Lantern Rebirth and go from there on Hal Jordan's storyline. So excited to read this. Let me know if you've read it. Then I found this, Justice League Another Nail. So this is the sequel to Justice League The Nail. And yeah, there's a newer version on here. with the that has both the stories in one book. And I have read this digitally because I couldn't find it, but then I found this just by itself. And yeah, it's I'm looking over at my bookshelf. I think I have an older one where it doesn't have the blue marker from when they got the newer logo, but yeah, I've got this version down here with the classic DC bullet on it. But man, I'm excited to read this. It's got the Elseworlds. It wasn't Elseworld back when they still had a bunch of those going on, and this is the same writer, same artist as the original one. Alan Davis, Mark Farmer. Alan Davis doing the writing and all the pencils in here. Mark Farmer doing the inks. And I remember I love the Nail. I remember reading this. It wasn't as strong as the Nail, but man, it's still the same great story. We met Superman in the Nail. Basically, it's the idea is, what is the DC universe without Superman, but everything else stays the same. So in that just original story in the Nail, the truck that Jonathan and Martha Kent are driving but while they're in the regular universe, they meet baby Superman, gets a nail in the tire, and that's where it got the name of the storyline, The Nail, because the nail changed the entire destiny of the DC universe at the time. So this is a second one, hence another nail. So check this out. Definitely read The Nail before you read this one, or else I think you might be a little bit lost. But Alan Davis on art, come on, man, so good. I know there's reviews of the original book, The Nail, on the channel. There's 2 of them. I gave it to Jim and had him do it, and then he did not like it. I loved it. So I think I did a second review as a rebuttal to say, you're wrong, Jim. Not this one particularly, but The Nail is a freaking classic. I also picked up Superman Red Sun. So I've read this. This was like one of the first digital comics I ever bought, but way back in the day. And I do not own it in print. I have the movie. I have the Batman Funko Pop. I have the Superman Red Sun action figure now. And I was like, I don't have Red Sun. So I picked this up. And this is written by Mark Millar, Dave Johnson, and Killian Plunkett. What I found was, when I was flipping through this in the hotel room, is that this should really be flip-flopped, because Dave Johnson does the covers. I think he did the design. He's probably meant to do the entire series or something. I don't know what happened, but this is only 3 issues long. I think they're double-sized anyway, or double and a half. But Killian Plunkett does the art for issues 1 and 2. In here it says he does Ascendant and Rising, and then Dave Johnson does the art for the 3rd one. So why does Dave Johnson get top billing over Killian Plunkett as the artist? So that's a little weird. But so high five to Killian Plunkett, because Dave Johnson just comes in at the end and after he set everything up. But I guess these are Dave Johnson's designs back here, and he did do the covers, and he is a great artist in his own right. He is a great artist, great cover artist, that's for sure. Dave Johnson also did all the covers for the 100 Bullets, and they're his signature right here on Brother Lono. He did this cover as well. I think he probably did all the covers for here too. He's a great artist. So Superman Red Sun, I picked it up. We will definitely do a review of most of these when I do read them. So subscribe to the channel to check them out. So the final Brubaker book I got in this haul is the Winter Soldier complete collection. This has Fear Itself 7.1, which takes place after Fear Itself. Something happens to Bucky in Fear Itself, so I will have to go back and reread that before I read this. And then Winter Soldier 1 through 14, with art by Brubaker. He's doing the writing. Butch Geis, again, picking up from the Bucky Cap days, and Michael Lark doing, I think he does 2 issues in here. So I've never read this, so I am definitely interested to read Bucky going back to the Winter Soldier in the post-Fear Itself universe. So after Fear Itself, Cap went back to being, Cap, basically. Steve Rogers took up his old mantle and became Captain America again after what happened to Bucky in Fear Itself. So that was a pretty interesting time. So I've never read this. I'm excited to read it. 14 issues. Looks like it's one big long story. Can't wait. And I think this is the last time Brubaker ever touched the Winter Soldier, his creation. So excited to do that. The Lee Bermejo cover. Oh, beautiful. That's Daniel Acuna cover right on the front there. Beautiful book. Also picked this up, Superman for Tomorrow. So I've read this in single issues a couple of times. I don't really remember it. I do remember there being a lot of hype because this came after Batman Hush in 2004, 2005. Brian Azzarello doing the writing, Scott Williams, Alex Sinclair, doing the regular Jim Lee thing, helping him out. And I remember this is not as good a story as Batman Hush. It does try and incorporate some of his villains, but it's not Jeff Loeb. It's not the same approach. You get the Justice League at the time in here, but there's some weird stuff with the Priest, this guy, this villain. His name is Equus, and then eventually it transitions to Zod. And this was a weird time because there was Zod had been in Superman 2. There's Lois drenched in a cape, and there was a couple different versions of General Zod, and then here was another one right here. So I was like, which version is the real version? That was never quite settled. And then even later after this, when Jeff Johns took over the Superman books after Infinite Crisis, this was right before then, we got a new version of General Zod. So this one kind of lives on its own. It's not really well regarded other than Jim Lee on art. It's not people say, what's the best Batman story? And Batman Hush comes up a lot, simply for the art and the number of characters and the overall general mystery of it. When you talk about best Superman stories, Superman for Tomorrow, not in that list. So, can't really recommend this off the top of my head, but we will see when I do a complete review. This is 12 issues. This is Superman 204 to 215. So this is Brian Azzarello. He also wrote 100 Bullets and Brother Lono. So lots of Azzarello, lots of Brubaker in this haul. And then today on my way home, I went to Ollie's over in Lakeland, Florida, and I should have picked up more, but I held myself back. This was $4. Yeah, $4.99. Really good, overstock book. Marvel Boy, Grant Morrison, J.G. Jones in the late 90s, early 2000s. This introduces Novar, who came back in, I think Bendis tried to bring him back a little bit and reintroduce him. I've never read this. But I remember hearing about it and hearing that it was batshit bananas great. Back when Grant Morrison was still batshit bananas great. So I'm excited to read this. I think it's mostly standalone. Don't really need to know a whole lot about the Marvel Universe because it's a bunch of characters. Takes place in the Marvel Universe. I think he is a Kree soldier, but just flipping through here, I don't think he tangled. There's a thing. Okay, well, I'll take it back. So. But overall, I don't think he tangles with a bunch of Marvel characters like one would expect. There's maybe a version of Iron Man there. I'm not sure. So excited to read this. If you like Wanted, this might be right up your alley. This was what put J.G. Jones on the map, and then he did Wanted with Mark Millar a little bit after this came out. And the final thing, Wolverine Civil War. This is a Civil War tie-in book. You need to read Civil War, at least the first issue, to understand what is going on in this book, written by Mark Guggenheim, art by Humberto Ramos. And I love this story. I love Humberto Ramos. I love him drawing Wolverine. I thought this was so good when it came out. I've reread it multiple times when I still had the single issues. And this is Wolverine's hunt for Nitro, who's the guy who actually blew up all the kids in the Civil War storyline. And it takes him all over the world. He tangles with Damage Control, he tangles with Atlantis in Iron Man armor, with Namor, Claws, Snicked, oh cool, borrows it from Iron Man. There's some Atlanteans who were doing some secret stuff during Civil War, if you read the Frontline book, and then he finally kind of, it was a neat little story, because it kind of put a different spin on who really was behind, or who profited from the events in Civil War. From all the destruction and things like that, and that has to do with Damage Control. But I really liked this story. I really like Humberto Ramos's art here. I know he's very stylized for a lot of people, but for me, Spectacular Spider-Man and then him doing this was just awesome. Awesome. So Mark Guggenheim did more Wolverine after this, but he did it with Howard Chaykin on art. But I think this is, for me, a quintessential Wolverine story, so I had to pick it up because I remember loving this so much. So that was my haul. What are you guys excited for me to read? What are you excited to see reviews of so that you should know if you should pick it up? I'm definitely excited to read Winter Soldier and Marvel Boy and Final Night. I think those might, well, not Winter Soldier. I got to read all this Cap stuff first, but Final Night and Deceased 2, basically Dead Planet, I think I will read first, and then I'll put everything else kind of away to be reviewed and read at a later date. So let me know what you guys thought, and we will see you guys next time here on BK's Bullets in the Funny Pages.